So this just goes to show that sometimes when bad things happen, it's because there's something even better and even bigger for you around the corner. So I only got into making cakes 10 years ago, believe it or not, and I was forced to turn it into a business very, very quickly. Oh my goodness, you won't believe what happened. I had my first wee baby and we had like a wee dedication. So I thought I would like him to have a nice wee cake. So I went on Google and I found a local lady who makes cakes. I had no idea what cakes cost or anything like that. And I was super original. I got the 2-tier cake with the teddy bears and the blocks. So this cake 12 years ago was £150. £150, people. So I just thought that's what cakes cost. I paid the woman. In the back of my head, I thought, I am paying 150 quid for a cake ever again. So Brody's birthday comes around and I think to myself, I'm going to have a wee go at making his cake. It's a basic cake. It was just in the shape of a number 2, but I just loved making it. Now, by this stage, I have another wee baby. I have a wee girl. And this is where it gets really interesting. So Brody's just turned 2. I've made his second birthday cake. It's coming up to Holly's wee dedication cake. And this time I thought, do you know what? I'm going to make a few wee figures and stuff. So I made a wee bee and a couple of wee toadstools and I made a wee baby of Holly. So by this stage, Holly's about 7 or 8 months old and I was supposed to go back to work. So I'd been texting my employer and stuff asking for a start date and I was getting nowhere. Now, what I would say is that this didn't come to a big shock. With all my pregnancies, I had really bad varicose vein. When I was pregnant with Brody, I would have brought in a wee stool and I would have come into work the next day and the stool would be gone. The other girls that I would work with would be telling me, oh, she doesn't like you sitting on that stool. She's headed upstairs. So they would have went up and got me this stool and brought it down for me to sit on. So then I felt like I had to stand and I stood throughout the rest of that pregnancy. I worked right up until about a week before Brody was born. So then I go back to work after having Brody, and by this stage I'm already pregnant with baby number 2. She did not like this at all. She cornered me one day and told me that I'd planned this on purpose. Now, I don't know about you, but being pregnant and having a baby, it's not really worth it for statutory maternity pay. So now I have 2 kids under the age of 2, trying to plan going back to work and I'm not getting anywhere. I'm due to start back work in 2 weeks' time and I still haven't heard anything. Finally, a week before I was due to start back, I get a phone call from my boss. I'm so relieved to hear from her by this point. That relief didn't last long. So I'm like, oh, thank goodness she rang. I was starting to really worry. And she was like, yeah, we've no job here for you anymore. So she went on to say that the place hasn't been as busy and the rest of the staff have had to work extra and pull together and they've been able to manage without me, so therefore there's really no need for me to go back. There's just the small problem that I kind of need a job. I need a wage. I need a salary. And I need more than a week's notice to find out that I'm not going to have that anymore. I put the phone down in complete shock. I phoned my husband and I'm like, you're not going to believe this. I've no job. What on earth are we going to do? Around this time, my wee niece Madison asked me to make her a Moshi Monster cake topper for her birthday cake. It was this wee character called Poppy. It was only the 3rd cake topper that I'd ever made. I made up the wee topper and I looked at it and I thought, that's actually not too bad. So I took a few wee photographs of it, and as I was taking photos of the cake topper, I thought, I'm going to take a few photos of this at different angles. I might be able to sell these wee characters. So I gave Madison her cake topper, and that night I sat down at the computer, I uploaded the photos, and I created an eBay listing. I had no idea how on earth I was even going to post these things, how I was going to package them, but I just thought, do you know what, I'll see if I can sell these, and if I can, I'll work that part out later. Baby steps. So go ahead and I create an eBay listing, I hit the live button and I go to bed. Little did I know that the Moshi Monsters were huge at this time. The next day I'm pottering about the kitchen and all I could hear was the ching, and I ran straight over to my phone and there it was. My first ever online cake topper sale. I'm not going to pretend it was all plain sailing from here, because it wasn't. There was damaged toppers, there was packages going missing, angry customers, listings removed because of copyright strikes. It was a blast. So here I am, I have a baby and a toddler, I've lost my job, and now I need to either get another job or work out how to make some money fast. It just so happens that around the same time I've discovered a love of cake decorating and I'm not too bad at it. I've decided to have a wee go at selling my handmade cake toppers online. This was not for the faint-hearted. You're talking about handmade delicate items. So unfortunately, my first lot of customers They were my guinea pigs. This goes to show that to start your own business, you don't need to have everything worked out. You don't need to be the best at what you're doing. You just need to give it a go. Once I got my first sale, that soon multiplied into 2 sales, and then multiplied into 4 sales, and you can see where I'm going. Yes, at the very beginning I was experimenting with my packaging and things didn't always arrive in one piece. Over time though, I was able to iron out all these little problems and work out a packaging system that worked for me. The best thing about all of this is I'm able to fit this in around my home life, and I'm earning more than I earned in my regular job. I took a few photos, I took a chance, and that first one sale showed me the potential to make more sales. Don't forget, I'm in my 30s here, and I've just discovered this new skill, so it's never too late. Maybe there is something there that you're good at. It could be photography or sewing or art. Maybe you have the potential to turn your hobby into a business. I'm just so glad that I get to do something I enjoy every single day, and since I started this YouTube channel, I also get to share what I love with you. There was a few other hurdles along the way. I'll keep those to another video. And my hope is that this video might inspire you to do the same. Just to remind you that sometimes life's going to give you really stinky, rotten, smelly lemons. Sometimes the reason for that is to force you into making a delicious, sparkly, sugary, tasty, summery, shiny, awesome lemonade.